standing, yeah, right on the foyer, on this dark day, right in plain view. Oh yeah, of the whole ghetto.
Guys, I'm here with another tutorial on how to get a letterpress treatment this time. Letterpress was a printing technique that was used a lot in the 15th century up until the 19th century. People used it a little bit in the 20th century, about halfway through, for printing books. Then it sort of died off because people, thought they weren't going to use it anymore because they had other cheaper methods of printing. But recently it's grown in popularity because newer letterpress machines were built, and it's just like a pastime of printing. You won't see a lot of people with letterpress business cards or stationery because it is a lot more expensive than regular printing. 250 business cards today you can get for 40 or 50 bucks. Letterpress cards for 250 cards, it's about $100, and that's for a single color black on your business card. And a lot of people want a lot more options than that, and it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a good idea if you have a lot of colors that you want to use. If you have, like 2, 3, 4 colors and you really want that type of print method, then that's the way to go, but it's not practical for full color printing. It's a pretty popular effect. A lot of designers use it. One designer sticks out in my head, Mikey Burton. He did an awesome job. If you look at a lot of his work, he does do a lot of letterpress work, but a lot of his digital work, he faked the letterpress look using textures that apparently he said he has a brick printer, and the printer messes up on the printing sometimes, and he just scans the textures and he uses those. Unfortunately, I don't have that, so I have to do it other methods. My methods are pretty good. Other people do it better, but if I figure out better ways to do it, I would definitely upload a video. But right now what I have figured out isn't too bad, and I'll show you. So right now I have a Photoshop document already set up, and I have a background layer, and I also have the text that I want to use, that I want to give the effect to. If you want this font that I used for the lettering, 1973, you can get it on, I think it's Lost Type Co. I'll put a link in the description below, just that way you guys can grab it. They have a lot of awesome fonts on there if you want them. They're free if you want, but if you also want to donate, you can. The money goes directly in the pocket of the designer, which, if you have the money to spare, I would say that's the way to go. Give back a little bit. So we'll get started on this though. I included a texture in the folder in the description down below. There's a link to it. It is a pretty high quality texture. Not too big though, but yeah, 2,500 by 3,438, but it's 300. The resolution is 300 pixels per inch, so it's pretty high quality. So you can do it on a lot of documents. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it on a new layer. As you can see like the little specks. You're going to want to resize it down just because I know my document that I'm in right now isn't very big, so we'll just go ahead and size this down as much as possible. Normally for many projects, you won't be doing them very big, so you won't even be able to notice the dots really whenever you're working. Let's bring this a little bit bigger. Wow. Yeah. Alright, cool. And as you can see, the further you get down the texture, it's not as much grit down here, but if you want a lot of grit up towards the top of this texture, there's a good bit. So we will paste it right here. Because my background is white, I'm actually gonna take the texture right now. It's black. I'm just gonna hit Control I and invert the texture, make it look white, and we're gonna close off, or not close off, but click that little eye mark and get rid of that for right now, and go back to our layer that has the text or emblem or banner or whatever you're trying to give the effect to. And we're gonna go over here to the magic wand tool, or W, and just select, we don't want to select the whole layer, just the stuff that we want to give the effect to. So I'll just do select similar, and then you have the little crawling ants over everything. Then we're going to go up here to select, modify, contract. Depending on the size of your document, you might want to do a different amount of pixels. I always start off at 5, and then if I don't feel that it's enough, I can always go back and change that. But for this document, I'll just use 4. Remember the number though that you use. That's really important. Remember that. So I'm using 4, and then I hit OK. It looks good. I'm going to go back up here again, go select, modify, and then we're going to go to feather. The reason I told you to remember the number before is because that number, you're going to cut it in half or divide it in 2, and that's the number you're going to put in right here. So I had 4 pixels before, so now I'm going to do 2 and hit OK. And you may not notice much of a change. The edges got a little bit rounded because it feathered it. And then what you're going to do then is go onto the spot where you had your texture, bring it up again, and while keeping everything you had selected, and go down here on your layers box. If you don't have that open, you can always go to window and then scroll down to layers and pull it up that way, but it should be up. And then you want to go down here and do add a layer mask on the layer that you have the texture, and click that. And now what has happened is, I'll zoom in here, it's a little bit hard to see, it kept the edges crisp and then blurred it whenever you get a little bit closer to the center, but kept the texture on the inside of all of them. And this is basically the way that you would achieve a letterpress effect. You can zoom out and see that it kind of keeps the edges. I like this effect a lot because it's not the same as just throwing a texture over some text and saying, you know, boom, done. Look at my gritty text. This one's a little bit more original, you could say. Also, another thing you can do in Letterpress, they put the inks over each other. You can also do that. I just put a simple text established, and then what you want to do on that is change the blending mode to multiply. You can do that if you want. It's pretty popular. And then if you wanted to, you could do the effect again. I actually don't have the effect on the this layer right here. You could do that again to really kind of give it that cool effect. But yeah, this is about it. Thanks for watching. Check out my website, www.chasebechtel.com. Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/ChaseBechtelDesign. Like me, let me know if you like my stuff or not. I have a lot of free stuff I give out on there, so